I am Dracula.
Dracula is the most well-known and quintessential example of a vampire in modern Western literature and media. But what if I told you that the widely accepted inspiration behind the creation of this iconic character may not come entirely from Eastern European history, but possibly also from the rich folklore, legends and mythology of Ireland? To begin our exploration of Dracula's origins, we first must start our journey with the author of the novel, Bram Stoker. Stoker was an Irish novelist born into a middle-class North Dublin family on November 8, 1847. He suffered from many serious bouts of illness as a young boy, and these illnesses kept him bedridden for long periods, giving him much time alone to think and reflect, which helped give rise to an especially active imagination and keen intellect. Once fully recovered, Stoker would be educated in private school before finally attending Trinity College in Dublin, where he gained an interest in the arts, especially theatre. After college, he began writing theatre reviews in his spare time, eventually going on to become a highly respected theatre critic for the Dublin Evening Mail. Stoker further embraced his love of the arts and began writing short stories before eventually writing his first fiction novel, The Primrose Path, in 1875. Soon after, Stoker and his new wife Florence moved to London, where he became the business manager of the West End's Lyceum Theatre, a position he would hold for 27 years. Whilst there, Stoker penned several more fiction and non-fiction novels before finally writing his best-known work in 1897, Dracula. Upon release, Dracula was well received critically, but unfortunately not financially. And despite writing numerous well-received novels, Stoker never became a wealthy man. And due to poor health, he would then suffer a number of debilitating strokes before finally passing away in 1912 at the age of 64. Despite never having achieved much notoriety whilst he was still living, Stoker's book would eventually begin to gain its iconic status after it was adapted into a silent, German expressionist horror film called Nosferatu, a Symphony of Horror, directed by F.W. Murnau. Nosferatu received rave reviews upon its release and is now seen as a landmark and influential title in the horror genre. Even so, this unauthorised adaptation of Dracula infuriated Stoker's widow Florence, causing her to sue the filmmakers for copyright infringement as they did not own the rights to the novel or have her permission. The resulting lawsuit subsequently boosted the original novel's publicity and profile worldwide, leading Florence to finally license Dracula to be adapted into a stage play which toured England and the United States throughout the 1920s. The play became a huge success and would then lead to the first official film adaptation of the novel by Universal Pictures, which was released in 1931. Universal's film adaptation went on to become a worldwide phenomenon, which only furthered the popularity of Bram Stoker's novel and also that of its main character. Now that the novel was in the mainstream, people inevitably began asking about the influences and inspirations behind Dracula. Much of Dracula's lore is clearly based in Eastern Europe, but despite Bram Stoker being Irish, bafflingly, there is little to no consideration given to the possibility of Irish influences on his novel and on the character of Count Dracula. Bob Curran, a retired lecturer in Celtic history and folklore at Ulster University, theorises that Stoker may have based some aspects of Dracula on the Irish story of Abertach, who was a ruthless and feared 5th century Irish chieftain. He was so feared, in fact, that local villagers believed he used magic given to him by dark spirits to carry out his campaign of tyranny. Abertach was eventually defeated and killed in battle by a rival chieftain, Cathán, and was entombed standing upright. Soon after, however, Abertach rose from the dead to enact his bloody revenge. He now demanded that his subjects provide him with bowls of their blood, which he now drank in order to maintain his undead form. As Abertach was now a member of the Nave Marv, or Undead, Cathán sought out the wisdom of a local Christian saint and asked him how to vanquish the creature for good. The saint told Cathán to use a sword made of yew wood to stab Abertach through the heart in order to kill him once and for all. Cathán returned to face Abertach once more, and used his newfound knowledge to finally slay the blood-drinking monster. It is also possible that the effects of the Irish famine may have played a role in the development of Dracula. Stoker's mother would tell her young son of the worst aspects of the famine, from the sight of people who resembled undead walking skeletons to people having to drink the blood of animals for nourishment, as well as the stories of those who were rumoured to have engaged in cannibalism. She also told him of the cholera epidemic in Sligo, her place of birth, in the 1850s, in which there were reports of sick people being buried alive. So it is very possible that some of these horrific stories and accounts influenced Stoker from a very young age. Another big possible Irish influence on Dracula's origins is that of Irish author Sheridan Le Fanu's 1871 Gothic vampire novel, Carmilla, which predates Dracula by a wide margin. Carmilla shares numerous similarities with Stoker's novel, including the main character who sleeps in a coffin and who also utilises shape-shifting abilities. Lastly, folklorist Owen Harding believes the word Dracula may be of Irish origin, coming from the Irish word Dracula, which means bad or tainted blood. There is also a legendary site supposedly located in the McGillicuddy Reeks in County Kerry, which is known as Dun Dracula, or Castle of Tainted Blood. Bram Stoker was an amazing Irish literary talent who created an iconic character for the modern age. His legacy is still celebrated in the hosting of the Bram Stoker Festival, which takes place annually in Dublin from the 24th to the 27th of October. So while it's clear that Stoker was influenced by many different sources, stories and text whilst researching and writing Dracula, I feel it is important that we should also recognise that he was possibly influenced and inspired by the rich history, folklore and mythology of not just Eastern Europe and Romania, but also that of his own native country of Ireland. Thanks for watching, and if you found this topic as intriguing as I did, don't forget to drop a like, and remember to subscribe if you want to see more intriguing content like this in the future.